We have Nicole Mays Jackson joining me here, youngest
Yes,
female foster care owner in Houston,
yes,
making
H time.
history.
Um,
That's right. Welcome to the show, Sports Hip Hop with DJ Mad Max, Live 365, iHeartRadio, Mad Max Radio. How's everything going?
Everything is going. It's hot out here in Houston. Life good. But it's always busy, always busy. But how's everything going your way out there? And you're in Miami, right?
No, I'm in Connecticut.
You're in
Yeah,
Connecticut.
yeah,
What?
yeah.
So how's the weather there?
It's kind of back and forth. I've noticed a lot of rain going on of
Hmm.
recent. It's been pretty much rain every day. It's been hot a few days, but it's mostly rain, so you can't really do much.
Yeah, yeah, that's no fun.
Yeah, it's hot down in Houston though.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
hot. It's hot. I was in Dallas the day before, and in Dallas is like up north Texas, so it had a little breeze, but here it's like a sauna hot. I mean, it's bad.
Yeah, no, it is it, and we're really in the summer mode now, especially when on the east side, on the East
Mhm.
Coast, because we always want to keep it as hot as possible because that
Yeah,
cold winter's coming, and
yeah, it
they've been
is.
getting colder throughout the years.
Yes, it is. That's why I'm a down south girl. I like to stay down south because let me
They,
tell you, Lord, I want that smoke with the snow. I don't want the coldness. I'm good.
exactly, but you're in your office right now, and you've spoke about this in other interviews. This being your spiritual space. So, why do you consider this to be your spiritual space?
God has gifted me this business. He's given my vision for that. And so just being in my spiritual space in my office is just a place where I get to woosah and relax and speak to him. And people might think their office is work and work. And it is at times, but at times I'm able to have my time with him. And so it's truly a blessing for me. It is. It gives me my grounding time. It does.
Mhm. It's important to have your own space where you can work in and feel comfortable in and get things done because it's where you're going to spend the majority of your time. And you've even, I've heard about you encountering your spiritual mother while on
Yeah.
the job as well. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, so I worked for a CPA, which is called a Child Placement Agency, before I started my own, which I have here at One Care. And
One care.
so I happened to meet her in the office. She was a foster parent, and I did not know who she was in God. And so when she came to me and started to tell me things about myself that no one knew what was going on, I was like, hold up. What is going on here? Just imagine someone coming to you, the things that you're going through at that time. Nobody knows. You haven't shared with your spouse, your friends, and they tell you God said X, Y, and Z. You tell me, how are you going to feel? Right. And so ever since then, God placed her in my life, and it was such a blessing to have her. And I have her in my life to this day. And she is a big driving force of how I'm able to move and the things that I do in the business and how I move just in general. So shout out to my spiritual mother. Yes.
Yeah, shout out to her. And you started One Care in 2015, like you said, when
And,
you were on the job and you were
yeah.
working at a private agency for
Mm-hmm.
10 years. And before that, you were working for the states out there,
I,
Louisiana, Texas.
yeah. Oh, you did your research.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I worked for CPS in Louisiana first, in Ruston, Louisiana, which is a little small country town. And then I wanted to move back home to the city. I worked for CPS in Houston. And then I worked for a private agency where I was at for 10 years. And being there, it gave me so much flexibility. It opened up so many doors for me to meet other entrepreneurs and to meet people and for me to say, hey, I can do this. I can do this. And so it was a journey. I opened up each sector of my businesses at different times. So we offer Texas Home Living, and we offer HCS, which is Home and Community Based Services. It's for clients who have intellectual disabilities. And then we also offer foster care with children who are in CPS custody, and we do adoption. So God allowed me to open them all at different times. There was no way I could do it all at once. So
And you have 10 certifications too.
yes, yes. So we have a training that goes into it, and so you have to keep up with it. But my one of my degree and my background is social work. So I went to Grambling State University, which is the HBCU in Louisiana, and that is where I started. And so, yeah, having certifications, having your degrees is something that you have to have in the field.
Yep, you mentioned Grambling State University right there, and this wasn't actually your first field of interest because you wanted to do psychology.
I did. I
Yeah.
thought I wanted to be a psychologist, but let me tell you, once I figured out everything that was entailed to it, I said, it's not happening. Why do psychology when I can do the same thing in a short amount of time? And I just felt like it just wasn't for me. But I did think I wanted to be a psychologist. And I think when we all go to school, we have this idea of what we want to do. And then once we start breaking it down, once we start seeing it, we're like, okay, look, I don't know if this is it for me. So that's kind of where I was. And I think a lot of us start school not even knowing what we want to do. So yeah.
Yeah, usually when you go into college, you're undecided sometimes
You
because I know I was undecided for I think one semester, and then I figured out what I wanted to do. So yeah, most of the time you go in thinking something, and then if you're not 100% sure, you choose undecided.
exactly. That's kind of like how it is. So I just thought I was going in, oh, I'm gonna be a psychologist. I'm good. Oh yeah. It hit me real quick. Okay. I changed my mind. I was like, oh no, this is not for me. My college professor, my counselor, she introduced me to social work. And so she was like, I think it'll be a good fit for you. And ever since then, I took off. I was a social work president for my time that I was there for about 2 years. And I enjoyed it. I really liked it.
It's something that, and it's important to you want to be happy in life. That's the main thing. And I wanted to attach this point because people around you are telling you that why do you want to get into social work where you
Mhm.
make less than teachers? But
You do.
it's all about what makes you happy at the end of the day.
Correct, correct. And it's all about what makes you happy, like you said, and also giving and doing the things that you need to do and your calling, because you can do a lot of things that's going to make you money. But is that your calling? Is that what you are supposed to be doing? And no matter if it makes less, a social worker does make less, but I'm on the opposite side now. I'm a business owner, so I'm not I'm not making less.
Yeah.
I'm I'm doing very well. And so it's just taking what your gift is that God has given you. The money will come. I mean, I think that so many people get focused on, I have to make this money. I want to get into this to make this amount of money. But once you follow what God has given you and execute it, the money is gonna come. Follow him, it's gonna come. It's gonna come.
Exactly, and it's happening right now, and we've seen what you built from this far. But not only were you just doing the social work, because you were the president at your club. I heard the last 2 years of college at the social club.
Yep, I was. I was. You're making me feel old, but I was. I was president. I enjoyed college. Being in college, it was something, if I could go back and do, I would go back and do it 10 times over, because you're getting to find who you are. And it's just an amazing experience when you have good college experience too. And so, yep, I was in social clubs and I was also in pageants as well at Grambling too. So I love a good pageant as well.
Yeah, I did hear about that. You were in a. Is there any specific pageant that you remember that you enjoyed being a part of?
I did what we call the calendar girl. So I was Miss March. So we would have pageants. You would have like who would be the girl of the year, and then you have every month. Each person would try out to be a month. And so I was Miss March. And then I also was Miss
It's
Texas too now.
Texas, yeah.
Too, because we were in Louisiana. So we had people from all over. So you had Texas, you had, New York, you might have had Louisiana. So we had different galas involved. And so I enjoyed doing that. That's a passion that I do miss.
And the social work, because I know a lot of it relates to what you went through in your own life, because I heard that you came from a broken home where your parents weren't together. And I always relate it back to like the examples that hip hop artists give in their music, and Big Pun saying that a son needs his father. That's the most important part of his life. We see the
Yes.
relationship Tupac had with his mother. So I
Yep.
always think about this when we think, because my parents aren't married either. So
Mhm.
I can relate in that way. What is it that a child lacks either when they don't have a mother or a father? What do you think they lack when they don't have one or the other?
Just that support and knowing who they are, having that support and knowing who you are and someone to back you up. I mean, because I tell people all the time, your parents cannot give you what they don't have. You know what I mean? So not having them at times is an issue, but not having that support and that push and that guidance that you need. I mean, it's like you out there fending for yourself. So that's something that is, really hard. And then discovering who you are. And then when you go to school, you meet different people and you see other people sometimes have two-parent households. Sometimes they don't. Some of them are in care. So it's just, having that support and being able to recognize that and being okay with that, because I tell people all the time, I don't pity my story. My story is my story, and it is what it is. It's what God has allowed. It's what you decide to do with that. It's what you make of it as you start to deal with the cards that were given to you.
Exactly. Did you see any signs early on, especially knowing that you came from a broken home? Did you feel as though that this was your calling when you really look back at it, everything that you're involved with now? Do you think that was the calling?
I do. I really do, because like the children that I work with, my heart goes out to them. Like I love to do special things for them, and not even the children I work with, my own children in my home, me having kids, it just let me see that, hey, God gave me my family that I didn't have in the beginning. I have a husband, I have kids. And so being able to pour into them, and then the children that I work for, because I actually work for the children. That's what I tell people all the time. They don't work for me, I work for them, but they tell me what to do in helping them, the kids that are in care, my clients that I work with, and even the foster parents. So it's just always being there and knowing that you're assisting them. So I do feel like that was part of my calling too. Like it gives me a great satisfaction to assist and help others. I don't know. I can't explain it. I can't
Yeah.
explain it.
Because I did hear that you met your husband when going to university. Did you ever have a certain view on the topic of marriage because coming from
Yes,
your
I
parents
did.
that weren't married? Yeah.
Oh, yes. I told him like straight from the jump. Me and my husband, we both came from single parent homes. And so we were like, look, if we gonna do this, you know, we both want our children to grow up in a two-parent household. We want to be married and give them more, because when you don't have that, you want to be able to break that generational curse for your family. I think that's just so important to do that. And so that was a big topic for me.
Yeah.
He understood and he said yes, but you know how y'all men are. Y'all say yes to anything when you start liking somebody. You figure it out. But yeah, it was. So big discussion for us.
Yeah, no, that's important. I heard that he's real supportive, but he likes being in the background only.
Oh, he loves to be in the background. He loves if a camera was popping out this weekend when we were in Dallas, he was like, "Oh no, that's not my thing." But he is very, very supportive of me. Shout out to my husband Raymond Jackson. I love him so much because he lets me be authentic in who I am, and he supports me. So if I have to go out of town, I think like in October I'll be hosting an event in Atlanta, and he's gonna come with me. And he's just like, I'm gonna be there, but don't be expecting me to do all of this other stuff. I said, okay, I'm gonna let you make it. But he does like to support me, and so I'm thankful for that.
No, it's important that he's real supportive of you, and this trip out to October, it's going to be definitely, yeah, you're looking forward to it.
I am. I love Atlanta. So I am looking forward to hosting. I'm looking forward to all the things that I have coming up. And it's nothing like having the support of your husband and your children too. My children, they're old enough to where they kind of recognize what's going on. And so they are so supportive and they're excited about it. And it makes me excited. It makes me want to go hard and work harder and be able to just be a good role model for them. So yeah. But I will tell you, I want to say this, having a supportive spouse is so important. And I just want to reiterate that with people, because um, your peace is at home. And when you're doing things, you want to make sure that your spouse and your family life is good, because anything else, when you go home and lay your head, you want to make sure that you're at peace. You want to make sure your home is taken care of. And that doesn't mean just the home being taken care of. That's everything with your spouse, with your children, emotionally, everything. So I feel like that is just so important. And that's a big thing for me.
No, it definitely is, and it's you have to have that support around you, and you see how it's benefited you this far, and just everything that you've been able to accomplish, all the way up to now hosting your own podcast, sowing seeds.
Yeah, sowing seeds, sowing seeds. We have some episodes coming up. I can't tell you the guests we have coming up
Yeah.
next is surprise, but I will say that that was one of my big things that I enjoy doing. Like just being here talking to you today, like being on radio, talking and just uncovering new people, new ideas, just hearing from them, seeing what they have going on and sharing wisdom and knowledge from people. Sowing seeds came out of me just sitting down, talking to my manager, and I told her, look, this is what I want to do. This is what God gave me. And it's just been taking off. So we've had some great guests too. We've had Melody off of Love and Marriage Huntsville. We've had the amazing Angie Stone. If y'all don't know who Angie Stone is, I don't know what to tell you.
R&B legend.
R&B legend. And so, yeah, so I'm excited for our next couple of guests that we have lined up. So, yeah.
I'm not going to ask you who the next guests are, but who are some people that you do want to get on your show? It could be in any lane. Who's some people you want to bring into? It could even be from a different lane. It could be entertainment, anyone besides R&B. And
don't get me started. I
yeah.
love Rick Ross. Okay,
Rick Ross.
Oh, I love Rick Ross. I love Rick Ross. Pastor Mike, he is a big artist in the gospel arena. I love who else do I love? I mean, just I have a lot of people on my list. Sierra, she's a fashionista. She's big on my list. And who else would I have on my podcast? Anyone who brings life, okay? I'm telling you, but one of my big people I would love to have Pastor Mike, and I would also like Sarah Jakes Roberts too. I think
Okay.
that she I'm really good. But Rick Ross, 50 Cent too. I love me some 50. He's out here in Houston right now. You know, he lives here in Houston now. So we'll see him here and there. I'm gonna have to say 50 when you getting on the podcast.
Yeah. uh no, it's interesting, 50 Cent and Rick Ross, because we know the history that they have. So those are the two
Yeah.
ones that you really want.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
They something totally different, which I really, really love in their own spaces. So I love both of them. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love both of them.
How much importance did hip hop play into just the soundtrack of your life and everything, just building up your own business and everything that you have going on?
A lot, a lot. You know, it really did. You know, I'm a down south girl, so cash money was really big
Yeah.
for us down here. But Jay-Z, he was also really, really big growing up for me. And I, you know, everybody loves Hov. If you don't love Hov,
Yeah.
I don't know what to I don't know what to tell you. It's something wrong with you, but it did play a major part. And I'm an R&B girl too. So
R&B.
love R&B. Yeah, I love me some good Maya, some SZA. I mean, old school Maya. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So a big R&B.
Yeah. Beyonce, she's from H-Town.
Oh, you know, I love
Yeah.
Beyonce. Yeah. And a lot of people sleep on Solange. I actually went to middle school with Solange. And
Wow.
yeah, and so I love Solange. Her music is awesome. She has her own style, which I really love. Yeah, people sleep on her, but well, some people do. I don't. But yeah, she's really good.
No, I agree. The H-Town, like High Five is from down there too. You have a lot of R&B history down in Houston.
Yeah, yeah, we do. We do. We do. We do.
Sowing seeds. How do you plan on expanding this? Do you think you're going to take it on the road? What are the
Yeah,
plans to expand in the podcast?
the goal, we do want to take it on the road. We are wanting to do some live podcasting. So we do have that coming up in the works, which we're working on. So because I think in person is just so cool. It gives it a different vibe. You know what I mean? So I am excited about that, taking it on the road and also going to that person, you know, going to their element where they're happy. And so I'm looking forward to doing that because people are most comfortable in their own element. So that's going to be exciting.
No, it's gonna be. I wanted to ask you this because when we look at 9 to 5s, we see how people are treated in the workplace there. Was it similar to working a regular 9 to 5 when you were working with the state and then took it
Oh
to
my,
the independent agency?
I was a slave. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what
that's
I mean, working from 9 to 5, working for the state, I mean, it was very demanding. When I say demanding, it was so demanding to where I mean, I didn't even have time for my husband or my son at the time. I only had my son at that time. So it was a lot. And so I tell people all the time, with that, most jobs you get to cut off. But when you were working for the state, I mean, it was just 24/7, 365. So I will tell people, being an entrepreneur though is still the same thing,
yeah.
except yourself. It's never a cutoff. It's never a cutoff. Things happen, and you don't have the luxury of doing that. You do have people in place, and things happen to where you will have a little break. But when you work for yourself, it's just a constant hunger and drive that you have.
The thing about the 9 to 5 job, especially with speaking about your experience with working for the state, is that they just treat you like you're disposable and you don't matter. Like you're putting in all this work for them, but at the end of the day, they could fire you. They treat you like crap, and it's always best to take the route that you did because
Yeah.
you're your own business person. You control your
Yeah.
destiny and your time.
Yep, yep, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of sacrifice from yourself, from your family, as well. Because I mean, I've had many nights when I was up in the office working 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when I first started off by myself, or I had different things going on. So I mean, it's a sacrifice, but at least that sacrifice, like you said, is for you. You're not disposing yourself away. Other people when you work for someone, they do just treat you like a number. And that's why when you work for yourself, you have to, know like, hey, this is all me. And that's how it feels. Is you have to be a hustler to be an entrepreneur. That's what I tell people. You have to be a hustler, you have to have a business mindset. You have to always want to have that grind and that drive about you, in order to have it to succeed and to learn from people as well to go to the next level so that you are not always hustling and out doing what you have to do. So it's levels, but it's worth it.
Mhm. I'm interested in learning about building your team when making the transition from being at the private agency for 10 years to being at One Care. So how did you go about building the team around you? Because infrastructure is everything.
It was hard. Let me tell you, people don't want to work. That's number one. Lord forgive me. But I'm gonna tell you, hiring people, it can be a challenge because you want to find who is going to be a right fit. I will tell you in this business, my leadership people have stayed with me. People who have, who are just coming in, just coming out of college, getting into social work, you know, it's hit or miss, but who are your leaders and who are your strong suit people who are going to stay with you, because in order to have a business, you want your people to grow too. So everybody in my leadership, on the leadership side that's in a higher position, I want you to grow. Even the people in the lower position, but it takes time for that to happen. But you want to be able to, see your people grow and treat them right. That's how you're going to be able to keep them. So you want to make sure that that is leveled off correctly, because it's been some challenges. Ooh,
Yeah.
Mike, you just, oh, I'm telling you, if I could write a book or a TV show, you would be like, did this really happen? Because I mean, hiring people, dealing with what we deal with, it can be a lot.
Yeah.
It can, and it's
No,
not for everybody.
no, it's not. And just think you're in the position that these other people are in when they're hiring the people. But at the same time, you treat your employees better because, like you said, you do give them breaks, you give them week vacations, you do nice stuff with them.
Yes, don't have the labor laws coming for me out here. The Texas Workforce Commission coming for me. Yes, they get breaks, and it's not even about the breaks because that's just standard stuff. It's about birthdays. It's about caring about the things that they have going on as well. Not because let me tell you something. I tell people all the time, your friends, your coworkers are not your friends. I don't. as it happens. But I'm just saying you want to make sure you have a happy medium, because most of the time you're at work with people more than you are with your family. So
Yeah.
you want to make sure that you have a good working environment and not boundary crossing, because a lot of people don't understand they cross boundaries at work. But you want to make sure that you don't have that, and you want to treat your people how you would want to be treated, but still have that sternness and still have that professionalism.
Yeah, I agree. And you got to have a great working environment. It's got to be positive, because when you go to these other work environments, it's toxic, gossip all over the place, people talking behind each other. I've never seen my experience years ago with working at this place. I was working at a supermarket. I was like, am I back in high school? Like, what is this? Everyone's talking behind their backs. It's like you're 40, 50 years old. Grow up.
Go to work, get your check, and go home. That's
Yeah.
all you have. Like that. That's it. I mean, it's nothing more, nothing less. It's there. Yeah, you don't want that in the work environment. I'm telling
Mhm.
you.
Have you thought about taking this even further and connecting with people such as Reverend Al Sharpton, and taking this deeper, kind of more into the political thing, and connecting with people in that circuit?
I haven't yet. I really, really haven't yet. I don't know if I'm ready for all of that just yet. But I do know that we do need awareness in foster care, in children who have intellectual disabilities, because we are so underserved, and they're underserved financially as well from the government, because a lot of these programs come from the government. And so it starts off right here at the state level where we are now, and then it goes up federally. But we are needing more funding for children who have autism, also our foster care system. In Texas right now, they have a big lawsuit right now where foster children are suing the state. And the state has been kind of really hard on agencies as well right now. And so it's a really big thing. And so right now they're renting out hotels here in Texas. If you have a rental property, if you have different things, they're having to place children in these homes because they don't have anywhere to put them. And so it's a lot going on out here in Texas. And we do need some help, but taking it to that level yet, I haven't thought about it yet.
I think that I could see you, because you're already having the impact already, and you've made history, being everything, the youngest foster care owner, especially being an African American. That's history right there, right up there with Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King. You're seeing it's going to be
Yes.
documented.
It is. It is. And so, it's a heavy weight to carry, but I'm ready to carry it. But I haven't thought about it, but I can see it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does. It's going to manifest eventually. You know, I want to talk about the barriers that you really had to break in order to get out there and start making these moves with these companies and everything that you're doing as far on the business side of things, because now we're seeing what Congress is doing now, reversing the affirmative action and all the stuff that's going on. So now how much more difficult is it going to be to achieve something that you have done already for others now?
Yeah. I think that it's getting a little bit easier, but it's still going to be hard regardless, because it's so much red tape when it comes to politics and when it comes to getting your contracts and doing things like that. You have to build relationships in order to allow some of these things to happen. And so, I feel that it's possible. It's getting a little, easier, but it's still so much politics once you do get into it. And I think that it shouldn't be like that as well. I mean, I think that it's, you do what you need to do, get your contracts, you have the education, have the people in place, and call it a day. But it's not like that all the time.
Yeah.
Not.
No, it's unfortunate what we're going through. I know there's a lot of things
It
going,
is.
turning back the hands of time. Everything's going backwards now, but we got to keep moving forward here. But I wanted to get into it because you're also an author, The Power of a Thriving Mindset.
of a thriving mindset. That's my baby. So it's just kind of my introduction on, who I am and how I have gotten to be where I am. And so, it is just saying kind of like what I said earlier, your mindset is going to set you to where you need to be. It's going to get you where you need to be. And so as long as you have that mindset to keep pushing forward, it's going to get you where you need to go. And it's having that power to change your mindset, because I tell people all the time, your mindset can change. I mean, when you go through things, you have the ability to change it. Either you might be up, you might be down, you have things that's going around. It just depends, but you have to push forward and have your faith in God. And that's something that I'm really, really big on, is my faith, because that is something that pushes me towards it. And I'm a minister, and so that's also something that I don't take lightly. And so I know that having that mindset and having God in my life, it shaped me who I am. And so I loved writing my book. It was some trying times writing it. At times I was crying and I was, saying, should I put this and should I not put that? And so it was a big release for me as well.
Yeah, no, it definitely was, and you could tell how powerful it was. I wanted to get into just with the book. When did you have to get into that mindset? When did you kind of have to take a step back and get into that successful mindset that you're at now, and being like, I have to get into this mode in order to get on the path to success?
It just my spiritual mother was a big part of that, helping me. And everyone doesn't have that. So I get that. And even before she came into place, I had things already set up. It was just having that guidance. I had things in my mind that I wanted to do. It was just that reassurance. But you have to, just know that it's going to all work out, and having that mindset. I mean, it's hard. It's hard. It is.
It's difficult.
It
It takes a
is.
lot of
It
sacrifice and dedication.
it does. And consistency.
Yeah,
That's the key part, is the consistency part. If you stay consistent, there's nothing that can stop you, but you gotta stay consistent.
you
But
do.
it is. You do. You do. You really
Consistency is
do.
key.
It is. It's a big thing, and people sleep on the consistency, but it's a big thing too. And knowing when you need to go to another level, knowing when it's time for you to go to another dimension. Let me say that, because my godmom says we're not going to levels, we're going to dimensions. So another dimension, you always want to know when it's that time. And for me right now, it's that time. I'm in a transition time where I'm going through another dimension. I'm doing things that I've never done. I'm on this radio show with you. I'm writing books. I'm, doing different things that I have asked God for. And so it's just being confident in what you have told yourself. That little voice inside yourself that says, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that. That's God speaking to you. And it's possible to be able to do it. You know what I mean? It's just knowing when the time is to go to that dimension. And I think a lot of us struggle with that.
No, we do. 'Cause a lot of times we don't know our purpose either. And you see, that's why people get caught up in the cycle of life.
Let me tell you, so many people don't know their purpose. Like it's crazy. And don't even ask me when I knew my purpose, okay? But telling you, it's something that is real. People really don't know their purpose. And I think that's it. It's hard when you don't know. You just life. That's it. You just life. You just going to work, figuring out you life. But when something starts to speak and talk to you, and it's not right, if anything gets bad enough, you're gonna want to change it. So, you, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
When did you allow God in your life? Because it seems as though you've always been spiritual. So when did you start to
I
really,
I
yeah.
want to say probably about 2.5, almost 3 years ago it's been. And so when I just really was like, hey, that this is who I am. And in him. And so it was a good experience for me. You know, everyone takes their spiritual experience differently. I don't know. But for me, it was something that I would never change for anything in the world. When it happened to me, when I accepted God and I knew that this is, and he accepted me and this is who I was, I was, how can I say it? I was still kind of in limbo. I was like, okay, people gonna think that I'm crazy. They're gonna be like, who is this lady? What are you saying? And so it's always a journey, and it's being confident in knowing that this is who you are spiritually. I think that's a big thing for people who are in the spiritual world, is to not have to worry about what other people are saying. That's just something that you always gonna have to deal with. So it's a big thing, but I will say 2.5, 3 years ago. Yeah.
No, that's big, and congratulations on that step and getting into your faith. That's important.
It is important. It is important. You have to trust God even when you can't trace him. You have to know that he is the one who is doing everything for you. And everybody is different on their faith journey. You know, I don't knock people. You like it, I love it, but this is who I am. And so I'm just me, and you do you. So
Health is wealth.
health is wealth. Say it again for the
Health,
people in the back.
health is wealth.
It is. It
Yeah.
really is.
You also have your own website too that people can go check out and everything that you have going on, learn about your history and everything too.
Learn about me, you can go to NicoleMaysJackson.com. You can also check me out on IG at Nicole Mays Jackson. You can check out our business page, One Care Premier, on IG, and One Care Premier Services. We are also online if you are in Houston. We serve all of Texas. So if you want to be a foster parent, you want to adopt, if you want to know anything else about home and community-based services, please call us and check us out.
Yes, please do that. Go check that out. Nicole, is there anything else you want to let the audience know that you want to mention that we didn't cover today?
No, you covered everything. I thank you for being so humble. I thank you for doing your research and talking to me and sharing my message to the world. And I appreciate you for having me. It was such an honor. And I want to thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. It really does. And thank you for everything that you're doing out there for the communities and just people in general, foster care, people with disabilities. I think that you're truly a savior. You're
Thank
someone
you.
out here, yeah, a soldier of God for sure.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem. And thank you. Keep doing great things. And we'd love to have you back on the show. I look forward to seeing your podcast. I actually have Angie Stone's going to be on my show this week. So I'll be tuned in to your show with
Oh,
her. So I'm going to make sure to be tuned in to see the conversation that you shared. And I look forward to seeing that.
well, thank you so much. And it was a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it means a lot. And thank you to Caitlin for setting this up as well.
Yes, Caitlin. Shout out to Caitlin. Yes, thank you so much. And shout out to the dog. Oh my gosh. OMG. Yes. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Stay
All right.
safe out there. I look forward to everything you have on the way.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.